Don't worry guys, Arty has been fixed. Hello everyone, my name is Dolby 7.1 Surround Sound and welcome back to patch 9.18. It's on the test server at the moment, and the first day there were some problems. There was no free experience, there was no gold, so that's the reason why I'm playing the M41 Walker Bulldog, which is now a tier 8 American light tank. The T71 will replace the Bulldog's place at tier 7, and from the T71 you can now go to the Bulldog, for example, then the T49, and then the Sheridan, new tier 10 light tank, or T69, T5041, and then T57 heavy. You're gonna have to play the T71 a lot more now, if you don't already play it for fun. It's a great tank, and it will stay a great tank, I believe. I haven't quite actually seen what the stats are on the T71, but patch 9.18 is not a small patch. It will bring changes to the light tanks, matchmaking, and most controversial in my eyes, artillery. Artillery will be, in some people's eyes, nerfed, in some people's eyes, actually buffed. Talk about that later on. First of all, the new matchmaking. I don't really care. I don't really care if they have a template system. All I want it to do is to make even tiered games. If I see there's 7 tier 10 on the enemy team, I want 7 tier 10 on my team. If I see 4 tier 9 on the enemy team, I want 4 tier 9 on my team. If I see 3 tier 10 on the enemy team, I want to see 3 tier 10 on my team. If they see they have tier 9 tanks below the tier 10s, I want to see the same exact tier 9s on my team. That's all I want. I've been playing World of Tanks quite a bit today, and there were, I'd say, about half of the matches it wasn't balanced. It wasn't balanced because matchmaking decided, you know what? You get 2 tier 10 medium tanks and an artillery. They get 3 tier 10 medium tanks and an artillery and a heavy tank extra at tier 10. So you have fun with that. And then matchmaking already decides that you're gonna lose this. So 10 out of 10 for wargaming, hopefully fixing the matchmaking problem with a template system. Now then there's 2 big old subjects left. Artillery and the new tier 10 light tanks. Yes, you will see the T100 later on in this episode. No, I'm not going to make a different episode about every single tier 10 light tank. You've got Zircon, Quickie Baby, or Zanel if you're into that guy, to do all of that. I am, however, going to talk about the bigger part, just the tier 10 light tanks themselves. They are not like medium tanks. They are far from medium tanks. They don't have the DPM, they don't have the health. What they do have is incredible mobility and incredible view ranges. That is literally what wargaming wanted. That you cannot play them like medium tanks. They are not snipers because they've got terrible accuracy. They don't have to reload. I think the Sheridan has the best with stock 100% crew, 2.8k DPM, which is with the derp. Hold on a second. If we give it the 105, it will have 2.6k DPM, which is not great, but it's still better than the E50M. You cannot brawl in a tier 10 light tank. You simply don't have the health, or like I said, the DPM. What can you do in a light tank? Spot, be fast, you're an assassin, you go in, fire a shot, and you're out again before the enemy will even notice what's happening. You have a top speed of around 70 to 75 kilometers an hour, except for the Sheridan. The Sheridan goes 65 for some reason, but it has a lot of spaced armor for some reason, the Sheridan, and a derp, a buff derp from the T49. So what is then the attractiveness of the tier 10 light tank if you're not a light tank player? There's none. You don't have the accuracy, you can't snipe. You don't have the armor, you cannot brawl. If you're not a light tank player, the tier 10 light tanks are going to be extremely difficult for you to play. You have to find your gap in the enemy team, go in, and then do your damage. None of the tier 10 light tanks have a lot of armor. They're light tanks. Except for the T100, it has 100mm frontal armor, which was nerfed from 120, but is very slow. The T100 is also very low. Best camo rating there is of the tier 10 light tanks. I believe many people have said it before. The T100 is the best passive scout. It's the actual most scouty scout tank because of the camo rating. Then you have the tier 10 German one, the Rheinmetall Panzerwagen. What does that? Well, that's the best sniper of them all with 0.35 accuracy. Yeah, it's not a sniper. It's just with 0.36 you can't snipe. So what's the point of the Panzerwagen? Well, you're fast. You're incredibly fast. You have 10 degrees of gun depression, which you don't have in the T100, so you can work ridge lines better. And then you have the WZ-1321. That's the best brawler of them all. It has the highest penetration of the gun and the most turret armor. 200mm of frontal turret armor makes this tank for some reason the best brawler. It does not have the best hull armor. That's still for the T100 light tank. Is there anything else about the WZ-132? Well, you could almost say that you can play it as if it is a medium tank that has a terrible reload, but you've lost a bit of health as well. That's how you could play the WZ-132. I think this is the most all-around light tank there is together with the Sheridan. The Sheridan is all about DPM. The WZ is about having frontal turret armor. So you can actually sit on the ridgeline instead of the Grammatar Borsig and take shots. So Borsig, Panzerwagen. Actually, the WZ-1321 is a better 121B, the tier 10 Chinese reward tank that I stupidly picked. It has basically the same DPM, but it is faster and has a better camera rating and better view range. In a light tank you don't rely on armor anyway. In a medium tank you shouldn't rely on armor, which sometimes you can. But the WZ-1321 is literally a better 121B, so good job wargaming. So then there is only one light tank left, the AMX 13105, which is an AMX 1390 but with a 105mm gun. The autoloader line for the light tanks for the French have seen a lot of changes. Every single tank lost its 6-round autoloader. The AMX 1375, which will stay at tier 7, has now a 4-clip autoloader. The Batchat 12T, which is now the tier 8, has a 4-round autoloader. The AMX 1390, which is now tier 9, has a 4-round autoloader. The AMX 13105 has a 3-round autoloader with 390 alpha. The AMX 13105 is probably... I don't know what it is. It is a light tank. It has a good camera rating. Of course it's a light tank. It's the light tank line we're talking about, Phil. Good job. No. What is the AMX 13105? It is almost an assassin, but you cannot kill anyone with your clip potential because it's only 1170? Yes, Phil. Good job. You can indeed math in your face. So what is the AMX 13105? Like I said, it's an assassin, but you have to really make sure you know when you have to go in and can go in. Now, I'm not going to lie when I say that the Batchat 25T, the tier 10 medium tank, will stay a better light tank than the AMX 13105. Yes, I got a bit lucky with this Lorraine over here. The Batchat 25T is just a better light tank. It has amazing camera rating, not on the move, but that's okay. But it has better clip potential, it has more health. It's basically the same tank, but everything is slightly better on the Batchat, except for the reload time. The full reload time is shorter on the AMX 13105 because you only have 3 shots instead of 5. Also, I spotted all 3 artillery, and I damaged all 3 artillery. I have done Light Tank 7 on the test server, which I've been stuck on the live server for over 7 months now. Remember what I said about tier 10 light tanks not being brawlers. They're only brawlers if you put yourself in that position. Here I am playing the T100, playing it on Paris. Not really a light tank map now, is it? Half of the map is city and the other half is a field where you're far out into the open to actually have fun playing this game. So I have decided to take the middle with 2 of my Panzerwagen friends. And from here on out, I have the time to use my terrible DPM. The T100 has the worst DPM of all the tier 10 light tanks. It is also the only tier 10 light tank to not have 390 alpha, with exception of the Sheridan if you're using the derp gun. This has a 320 alpha gun. Think of every tier 10 Soviet medium tank, 320 alpha. Its penetration is decent. On every light tank it is decent, but it's not great. It's not amazing. It's not where you think, you know what, I can shoot everything and pen everything like you have with the 390 alpha guns of the tier 10 medium tanks. Think of the Centurion, think of the AMX 30B. You don't have that. No, you have to sometimes actually aim for weak spots in these tier 10 light tanks. However, the T100 has the best soft statistics, as in the gun handling is amazing on this tank, where it is completely different on the Panzerwagen. The Panzerwagen has terrible gun handling. I have to admit, these tier 10 light tanks, by the way, are amazing for climbing. I think climbing, unless wargaming does something against it, will actually be more popular with these tier 10 light tanks. Now, I've played all of these tier 10 light tanks on the test server. I played one game with the AMX 13105. I did not enjoy it, but it wasn't bad. I'm not a fan of the auto-loading French light tanks. If I need to get it for Clan Wars, I will. But I've played the T100, Panzerwagen, WZ-1321 and the Sheridan extensively. I went in thinking I would like the German and Soviet the most. However, what turned out is that I like the Chinese and the American more, the Sheridan, for its pure DPM. With the 105 it's great, gun handling is decent, but you have spaced armor all over the tank. And with the WZ-132 it was more, it felt like a medium tank that had taken a shot already right at the beginning of the game. It wasn't terrible, but I could work with the turret armor of the WZ. People think it's a light tank and just fire wherever, but if you're hull down, they have trouble actually penning you. Now here comes the interesting part. I love speed. I love driving at 70 kilometers an hour, just running around like a madman in the Panzerwagen and the T100. But I like the Sheridan and the WZ more, which have a 65 kilometer an hour top speed, which is not slow, but it isn't fast. It's not like, boom, and I'm gone fast. No, they were gentle. They were not over the top. I have to be there right now to get some damage done. Also, I noticed the Sheridan also has 10 degrees of gun depression. Maybe that's why I also like it compared to the Rheinmetall Panzerwagen. After talking about all the light tanks, you'd think the Sheridan has it all. It has gun depression, it has decent gun statistics, it has DPM, it has accuracy, 0.38, not a sniper. So what's bad about it? It is huge. It's a massive light tank. It has no camo rating and no armor at all. There is no way you could think, you know what, maybe I could bounce a shot if I angle. No, it has the worst armor of every single light tank at tier 10. But in the end, I will still get every single tier 10 light tank with exception of maybe the AMX 13105 unless I really need it for Clan Wars. So that leaves only one last subject. Artillery. And I do not agree with Wargaming in their changes to Arty, adding a stun feature, adding accuracy, reducing reload time I believe, and adding splash. The added splash, let's start with that. I'm sitting behind a rock, I'm camping, added splash will stop me from sitting behind that rock because Arty will still splash me. But here's the fun part about this. If I'm driving my light tank out in the open, Arty will splash me from kilometers away and detrack me, causing me to be out in the open for enemy tanks to shoot me then, because I'm standing still, and the fact that I'm also stunned. So my crew is currently looking if they still have their penis attached to their bodies, instead of trying to drive and reload and accuracy and all that good stuff. Now your tank crew is now completely stupid, trying to figure out what the bloody poop just happened in their game. Stun feature, terrible addition. Adding splash, terrible addition. I don't want to be splashed from 5 kilometers away, even if he misses. And if it doesn't do damage, it will still stun my crew. It's great because you can have reusable consumables. I don't care. It takes a minute to maybe 90 seconds for my consumable to be reused again, and Arty will reload within that time, especially the French autoloader. It will pew me. I'll use the consumable to make my crew not stupid again, and then it will pew me again. So what's the point of that? Reduced reload. God, I want Arty to shoot me more. Thank you very much, Wargaming. Yes, they do less damage, but if they pen you and you're in a light tank, they will do around 1,000 damage still. So what's the point in that? Yeah, what's the chance that they will actually hit you? Well, they have reduced or better accuracy. They are more accurate now. So yes, if I'm standing still, fair enough, they shoot me. But if I'm driving and they pen me, well, thank you. Thank you very much, Wargaming. As you saw at the beginning of this video, I penned the nudist for 1,000 damage. Yes, if Arty does pen you, it will still do a massive butt ton of damage. It's high explosive after all, fair enough. Now, I don't like that artillery now fires faster. It can track me even though I'm driving at 70 kilometers an hour from further away, because they increase the splash damage. The stun feature, why would I want to lose 30% of my crew effectiveness from something I still cannot fight myself? If I'm going in a fight, I will already have calculated if I would pen all my shots and he would pen all his shots on me. Can I win the fight, yes or no? If it's a no, I don't go in. If it's a yes, I do go in. But if then Arty splashes me right before I enter this fight with that guy 1v1, I will lose, guaranteed. Arty takes even more skill out of the game, because I could have lost about 400 damage and fair enough, yeah, but I could have still won it if I played it well. With my reduced crew, it's just like, you've immediately lost. You have lost so much effectiveness from your crew. Yes, I have consumables. What if I already used them and I still need 40 seconds? Then you shouldn't go in. What if it's the game-winning play and I have to go in and Arty's there to... and then gone. If I go in and Arty would have hit me, fair enough. If I go in and Arty would have missed me, in the current 9.17.1 patch, I would have probably won the 1v1. But in 9.18, I go in, the exact same situation, Arty splashes far away, stuns me, it's over, it's gone. I will probably throw my computer out of the window. It takes more skill out of the game. Everything you can try and calculate, Arty will ruin it even if they miss their shot, because they will still stun you. Wargaming. I don't understand why anyone likes... You know what? I love playing with a 70% crew for about 15 seconds, depending on what Arty hits me. Yes! Please, more. Artillery is inherently flawed in World of Tanks. You cannot fix it. Artillery is there to stop camping, but if there's a tank behind a rock and Arty can't hit him, he will look for different targets that are out in the open actively trying to play the game, and he will shit on them. The game is built around the fact that there are heavily armored tanks that you cannot dig out, and you need Arty for those, but it's inherently flawed. There is no fixing artillery, and I'm sorry to say it, but I would rather have it stay the way it is right now, where it can one-shot me and I will go into the next game, instead of doing consistent damage to me and making my crew retarded. Now, somewhere in the middle of the episode I mentioned that I like the Sheridan the most, closely followed by the WZ-132. I've played some more on the test server since I recorded that piece of voice, I guess, and I've come to the conclusion that yes, I like the Sheridan more than the T100 and the Rheinmetall Panzerwagen. I like the T100 more than I initially expected. It's great for firing on the move. Whereas with the Panzerwagen, you have to stop and aim. The gun dispersion values on that tank are absolutely horrific. Where the T100 is more of an active scout tank, the Panzerwagen is more of a passive scout tank. A passive scout tank that can actually sort of snipe. The Rheinmetall Panzerwagen would be great on, for example, Prokhorovka to sit in the bush, whereas the T100 would constantly drive in the middle, actively spot, poke out its turret, which is incredibly low profile, and then get spots that way. They're completely two different type of light tanks. So where does the Sheridan come into this and the WZ-1321? They are more in the middle. The Sheridan is great gun handling, whereas the WZ is somewhat more of a brawler than the Sheridan is. For example, think of the Patton and the STB-1. The Rheinmetall Panzerwagen is the STB-1, it's got good DPM, but god is that gun handling terrible, whereas the Patton has good DPM for some reason as well, but amazing gun handling. What, Phil? What about the AMX-13105? That's an assassin, late game assassin. Just play it like any other AMX-13 tank and you should be fine. Anyway, why am I showing this particular Sheridan footage? To show how big the tank is, and I've done a mission again by accident. LT-15, I kind of... That started automatically because I did LT7 a while back on the test server, so LT15 was selected. And I should really stop playing on the test server, because to do LT15 you have to do 7k combined spotting, tracking and damage done yourself. Now in this fight with the AMX-13105, I calculated I have 1168 HP, his clip potential is 1170, if he would roll average he would kill me. So, he has 3 shots, I counted 2 of them, I don't mind taking 1 shot from him to get the kill. There we go, we have 4k spotting. How did that happen? Well, the tracking on the 263 helped quite a bit. And I was spotting those STRV-103Bs in the back. Then here's the gun handling. Is this good or bad? I'd say it's pretty damn good in my opinion. Also, imagine if I would have fallen off the bridge right now. God, that would have sucked quite a bit. But no, it's decent. A bit of luck here with this shot, but yeah, the gun handling on the Sheridan is not as good as the LT100. The LT100 is just 0.006 gun dispersion. But look at how much damage I've done and spotted. Completely by accident. I wasn't trying to do anything. I was just trying to play the Sheridan. And I've done more than 7k combined. So there you go. How to do light tank 15 the not Kampinovka or Prokhorovka way. Playing aggressive is also a way to get spotted.